Ariel by Sylvia Plath. The poem describes the author as she is riding a horse. It begins to be calm until the horse starts speeding up. We can perceive the emotional and physical changes the author experiences throughout her life with this illusion. The horse ride represents the path of life, with all the ups and downs. We can identify the horse ride as being the ride to death, in which the author guides it in her way to suicide. The title of the poem is Ariel, and the significance of the title is probably because it's Sylvia Plath's favorite horse. It is called like this because she is reciting the poem while riding on the back of this horse. The horse is calm at the beginning, but as the poem progresses, the horse goes faster, and from there, things start to get wild. There are various themes to this poem, one of them being power. Power is the one theme since we can see how the woman in the case Sylvia Plath leaves galloping her horse, but she can't really control him. But in the poem, we can see how the woman takes control of the horse by letting loose and just letting the horse keep on going and following his own will. Death is a strong theme of the poem as well, as Plath refers to a horse as her life and how she is holding onto it until the horse starts to speed up, meaning that her life is starting to end, and the path that the horse is taking her is the path of her own death.
For the tone of this poem, the tone is very calm at the beginning, but as the poem progresses and as the horse starts to go faster and it becomes more wilder, the tone seems to be more intense. For the structure, the poem consists of 9 stanzas of 3 verses each, and the last stanza, the 10th stanza, of 4 verses. This can be seen in other Sylvia Plath poems where she writes one stanza with 3 verses. For example, the last poem we read, Lady Lazarus. We can see that she does this to give the poem a more aggressive feel and make it seem more intense because the sentences are left unfinished and continue on in the next stanza. For sound and rhythm, Ariel has no clear rhyme scheme. However, there are rhymes found all over the poem, such as air and hair and eye and cry and flies and drive. The sound images of the poem create a confined space in which help express the emotions of the author as she rides the horse, Ariel. The structure of this poem with short stanzas and irregular beats per line, coupled with the rapid pace of the poem, indicate its concern with temporality. For language and imagery, I unpeeled dead hands, dead stringencies, and on the verses 20 and 21. In this line, we can see how it brings a harsh image in our head. It clearly means that the unpeel is her dead hands, and also it symbolizes her rebirth and then a new way to start her life. For symbols, nature can be one of the symbols we can see in this poem. For example, the author continually uses description of the nature and the rider's speed. For example, when she says the furrow splits and passes, N-word, I berries, foam to wheat, and the dew that flies. Another symbol could be the horse, the catalyst for action. The horse represents strength and speed, but also beauty and grace. And also, the horse is the name of the poem, which is Ariel.
The poetic devices in this poem start off with the metaphors. There's a metaphor when she says, dead hands, dead stringencies. There's also one when she says, I am the arrow, which illustrates growth of power. And also, red eye, the cauldron of morning, describing the sunrise, which can also be used as imagery. There's alliteration in this poem, a lot of alliteration, because there's a repetition of the same letter or the same sound at the beginning of words. For example, splits and passes, sister, black sweat blood, and shadows something else. There is also assonance, which is the repetition of sounds and syllables. For example, heels and knees, port of Tor, and flies suicidal. As well as, we can see personification when she says, shadows haul me through the air. And lastly, there is a hyperbole when she says, the child's cry melts into the wall. This is a hyperbole which emphasizes how fast the writer is moving and how disconnected she is from everyday reality.